In this video, I will explain tolerances and alternate units in AutoCAD drawing. So I will start this drawing and I will add a simple dimension. For that, go to this Annotate tab and I will select linear dimension. Then click on the first and second point. Now in this case, we have this dimension, which is simply the base dimension or the dimension without any tolerance value. So this is theoretically exact value, which is not always the case. Almost every drawing has dimension which is a component with a tolerances. Now in order to add tolerance in this dimensioning, we need to modify its dimension style. So once again, I will erase this dimension style and I will go to dimension style manager. So I will click this drop down, select manage dimension style, choose the dimension style which you want to modify. In this case, take ISO 25 and select modify. Now we have option of tolerances in this tab. Select this tab and here you will notice that the method has been selected as none. So change this to any other value. In this case, I will select symmetrical. As you can see the difference here in preview, after selecting symmetrical, you will be able to make changes in upper and lower values. Both of them will be same and you can control the precision values of tolerances. In this case, the precision is kept to 2 decimal value. I will keep in that way. Also here we have upper value. If you change the upper value, the lower value will change equally. You can even change to some other value, for example deviation. For this case, the upper value and the lower value will be different, or you can change to limits. In this case, the upper dimension value and the lower dimension value will be mentioned, and we have the last option, basic dimension value. In this case, we don't have any of these tolerances, and this is theoretically accurate dimension which is enclosed with this dimension. So I will change to deviation and precision will be 2 decimal places. Then I will change the upper value to 0.02 and the lower value to 0.03. Now click OK and close it. Let's make a new dimension. Once again, I will click the first point and second point. As you can see here, we have upper value and the lower value for our dimensioning. Now if you add more dimension here, all these dimensions will have the same value, the upper and the lower value. Even when you add a radius to this circle, it will have the same value, but it is not mandatory. You can change these values selectively even when the tolerances are applied directly to the dimension style. To change these values selectively, choose the dimension which you want to modify, then right click, select properties, scroll down. Here in the end you will see tolerance panel. In this panel you can edit the value in upper and lower tolerances. From here, these tolerance limits. Let's say I want upper value to 0.01 and lower value 0.05. As you can see here, the values has been updated. In similar way, you can select as many dimensions as possible. Then you can modify their combined properties if required. So let's once again move back to dimension style. I will remove these tolerances. We don't need it as of now. So we change to none. Now let's go to this alternate units. Using this alternate tab, you can add the alternate or the secondary unit to your dimension. So currently all of your drawing is mentioned in millimeters, but if you want to have inch dimension added in your drawing, you can add it. You can do that using these alternate units. So when you go to alternate unit tab, you will notice that option will not be active. So to make them active, you click on this checkbox. As you can see, all the rest options are enabled, and it will also add alternate unit. Now In this case, unit format is set to decimal. You can change any other format, but I will keep decimal. For the precision, I will give to 2 decimal places, and here we have multiplier, which is quite important. It is set to some default value. This multiplier will decide the value of this alternate unit. In this case, 1 mm is equal to 0.0393700 inches. So whatever value you mention in the drawing, when multiplied with this value, will result in inches. So that is multiplier for alternate unit. Now in this case, I will keep this value unchanged. But if you want to add your own value for your dimension, you can add it here. Now the placement of this secondary or alternate unit is right after the primary value. In most of the cases, drafters prefer to keep it below the primary value. So above the dimension line we have primary dimension, then the low dimension line we have secondary or the alternate dimension unit. So I will keep this dimension below primary value and press OK and close it. As you can see here, above the dimension line we have mm, and below dimension line we have inches for all these dimensions. And in this way you can add the alternate or the secondary dimension unit to our drawing, and obviously the secondary unit will be decided by multiplier. In this case, the secondary unit is inches because the multiplier was set accordingly as 0.0393 and so on. That is all about adding tolerances and primary units in AutoCAD.